Welcome to Daily Steps from One Extraordinary Marriage, where we outline simple steps that you can take to have the ultimate marriage adventure. I'm Tony DeLorenzo, your co-host, along with my beautiful wife, Elisa. In today's show, we address the question, how can we be intimate when my spouse has a disability and traditional sex isn't an option?
Most people think vaginal intercourse when the word sex is mentioned. However, couples all around the world are rewriting that definition to fit their unique circumstances.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know what the disability is that this spouse is mentioning. She didn't elaborate on it for us. And the fact of the matter is that disabilities cover a wide range on how that impacts your sexual intimacy. So we're going to be speaking in some generalities on today's show, just because we don't have details. And we want to speak in generalities so that each one of you can take this and go, okay, how can we implement this in our marriage? Right? When the very first time that we ever did the 7 days of sex challenge with the entire one family, we had scheduled it, said, hey, this is when we're doing it. There was a couple that wrote in and shared with us that due to physical limitations, they weren't able to have sex for that period of time. They still wanted to participate.
Right. That was the key. They still wanted to be part of the experience.
And so what they shared with us was that they actually made a decision that they were going to come together and they were going to pray together every day for the 7 days, which led to them deepening both their emotional and their spiritual intimacy. And I loved that that's how they chose to take that challenge, how they chose to take that word, that time in their marriage and say, how do we become more intimate? Because intimacy is a word that, while it's so often associated with sex and with sexual intercourse, is so much more, right? It's a word that you can say, how do we do this together? What does this word mean to you as husband, to me as wife? And how do we incorporate this into our marriage, no matter what our limitations are? In fact, I would say limitations are actually opportunities to learn how to be more creative. True.
Very true.
Right? You're not going to fall into a certain rut because you're going to say, we've got to think outside the box, literally. And it's really interesting to first start looking at this to say, what is possible? Because I think so often, whether we identify ourselves with having a disability or not, we go to the realm of, well, I can't, or we can't, or it won't work. And we end up in this place of focusing on the negative instead of saying, what's possible for us?
Well, and I love that question because it really begins to open up to go, okay, what is working and what does feel good? And I want to go to the sexual sense because I think, this spouse is writing in more from a sense of like, how do we sexually connect? For those of you who are in a place where maybe right now you're unable to, I think what Elisa brought up, going to the different intimacies is key. But from a sexual sense, what does feel good? And what is working right now? Because I will tell you, just because you have a disability, don't think that folks who are having traditional sex are in a rut. I mean, they're doing the same thing as well. So if you're just doing the missionary position, those who do not have a disability, you may need to think of what is possible, what does work and what does feel good. So start there to see and go, okay, this feels good. We can do this together. And that allows us to have the pleasure we both desire. There came a long time, and I'm going to just bring this up for us, for Elisa and I, with foreplay and orgasm, struggle. And yet, once we found out that oral sex was a way for Elisa to orgasm, we found that that was what felt good. That's what she enjoyed. So that's what we went to and go to for that pleasure.
Once you get to this place where you look at what is working or what does work for us, what's possible, then you start exploring all of the other options that are out there. What can you explore with your bodies? What touches, what positions, what conversations do you need to have around this? Right? Because if you're not talking about your sex life, I don't care if you have a disability or not. If you're not talking about your sex life, you're going to be stuck.
Yeah, get creative. I love what you're saying. Have the conversations. If you need to have the conversations around this because you haven't had it before, then get our 19 questions to amazing sex. Go to oneextraordinarymarriage.com/19 questions. And I would say, answer those honestly and truthfully together, Because I think within those questions, the two of you are going to find some new ways and some new opportunities for you to enjoy your sexual intercourse or sexual intimacy.
The other thing in preparation for this show, I just started looking out there, Google's my best friend whenever I'm prepping for a show, to start exploring what are the adaptive devices that are out there based on different disabilities. And I would encourage you, as you're looking to be sexually intimate with one another, to go out there and explore what's out there. I was shocked to see, different chairs, different harnesses, all different types of things that were designed so that it doesn't matter what the two of you are challenged by, that you can go and this can be a part of your life.
Well, and even we've had numerous folks in the one family who've had back surgery, hip surgery, knee surgery, surgeries that have taken them out of the game pretty much.
Sure.
Maybe not fully disabled, paralyzed, and yet taken them out pretty much. And I remember one of them talking about the Liberator wedge. And it's sort of like a Liberator wedge and ramp, and it allows you to be in different positions and to hold them up and to alleviate the pain and frustration of not being able to get in certain positions. So that's something else to check out. We have one of these on our Amazon shop. You can go to oneextraordinarymarriage.com/Amazon shop to check that out.
The other thing that we know about the one family and all of you that are listening is that you're very, very creative. And I would say that if you're looking for something and it doesn't exist, now is the time. The world needs you to go and step into this place to say, I want to have a vibrant, fulfilling sex life, and this doesn't exist. I'm going to go create it. I think there are a lot of you out there that might be listening to this show, or you're going to forward this show to a friend who's dealing with this, and there are going to be inventions that come out of this particular show because you're going to say, this is what we want, and it doesn't exist. And so we're going to be that couple that creates it because we're going to meet a need. And it's going to be so exciting to know that because you had this desire to have this in your marriage, that other people's lives are going to be impacted.
We love your questions. Keep them coming. So if you want your question answered, send us an email to dailysteps@oneextraordinarymarriage.com and put in the subject line, Daily Steps question. Also, you can reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook as well. We read those messages. So type in your message, ask your question, and we'll read it here on Daily Steps. For more information to help you in this area of your marriage, check out oneextraordinarymarriage.com/coaching.